But it's been a little while since I've been to Savannah, but I was really kind of surprised at how much traffic there was on Abercorn um like all the
Oh,
time, like in the middle of
yeah,
the
yeah, yes. It's worse than it was then.
well, the first day okay, so we were on Armstrong campus, the Georgia Southern campus, that used to be Armstrong. And the
Uh-huh.
first day we tried to leave to go eat lunch, we went to Jason's Deli on Abercorn, and it took us forever. We were late getting back. And then, so the next 2 days, we just ate there on campus. But
Yeah.
when our meetings got over at 5 o'clock, the traffic to get back to the hotel was, I mean, it was insanity. I don't remember Abercorn being that busy.
Yeah. Well,
It must,
particularly that time of day, it's terrible going south.
oh my goodness. But
It's
anyway,
terrible. You could have
I
gone a better way.
I'm trained in something now.
Well,
I'd rather stay at home than anything.
yeah,
So
yeah, there you go. When we all?
yes. It's nice to get away and do different things. It was good to see my people. By my people, I mean there are 12 area agency on agings in the state of Georgia, and a lot of us have been around for a long time. So this year I'll be here 23 years, and there are
Well,
several that have been there just as long. So we've
how
all
about,
kind of grown up together. So it's nice to get to see each other face to face. So
well,
that's the
well,
positive.
Jennifer,
Uh-huh.
one question.
Okay.
What was the number one thing you learned at those meetings, those classes? What was the number one thing you learned?
Well, you had to say in those classes, because I had a different answer if it was just about on my trip. So in the classes, what did I learn that I did not already know? Mm.
Well, I think you just answered it.
What I'll tell you what, one big lesson, and it really is something that I already knew in my heart because I've been together with these same people for so long. It was a group of people who work with older adults in the same room with a group of people that work with women, infants, and children. So they work with the WIC office. So we serve different people, and so our programs are done differently. And the leader of this meeting was not listening to us as a group. When we said, when you work with seniors, it just works different. And she wouldn't listen to us. She tried to do a heart check with us, basically telling us we needed to have a better attitude. And when I tell you, our group came together to defend one another and stand up for what we do, it was such a beautiful thing to see, to know that you're part of a group that stands up for each other, that doesn't tolerate somebody bullying one of your own. And so that was a neat experience, something I learned and was reminded of, that I'm part of a group of people with a heart to serve, and nobody's going to make them feel like they don't have that heart to serve. And that was pretty cool.
Hmm. Well, that
Now,
was a worthy point. Worthy
outside
point.
outside of class, you want me to tell you what I learned because I didn't know it before? Is that people who drink whiskey, some people who drink whiskey like to have their whiskey smoked. And there's a whole process of smoking a cocktail, particularly an old fashioned. You can look up a smoked old fashioned. And That's something that I never even knew about. I didn't know was a thing, but it was fascinating.
So you had an old fashioned.
I ordered an old fashioned, and on the menu, it says smoked, add $2. And so I asked the waitress, what was that all about? And she said, what I just told you, that it adds some, like, just like wine drinkers, you know how they're kind of funny about things that they pair certain wines with, and like it's a whole thing. Um, Whiskey's the same way, and some people claim that when you smoke the whiskey, it enhances the flavor or whatever. Well, I just thought it was for show, so I'm like, well, what the heck, add the smoke. So I thought it was just like a production of them bringing your drink to the table, but what I learned was that it the smoke is trapped inside of this glass with the whiskey, and something, whatever's in the whiskey, absorbs that smoke, and it gave it a whole different flavor, and it was really good. And so I text my brother, and I was like, because my brother is a real sciencey dude, like he's okay, so my brother sells glue for a living. So you know the envelope, when an envelope has glue on it, you lick the envelope and it sticks. Okay, so my brother sells glue, and so he's just fascinated with like the science of things. And so I just thought, oh, my brother will really find this fascinating. So I texted him and I was like, have you ever had a smoked cocktail? And he said, yes, probably too many. So, but he said that he has his bourbon smoked when he has a cocktail that has bourbon in it. So anyway, that was something that I learned outside of the actual training that I found fascinating, that it's been going on around me apparently my whole life, and I just never knew. Never knew.
We learned, don't we? We learned.
So were you aware of that? That they
So that
smoke?
was that.
Did you
No,
did
all I get is a rum and coke, and
well
so next time I'll ask for a smoked rum and coke.
ask for a smoked old fashioned.
So yeah, Jennifer. The other question is: did y'all find any good restaurant to go to?
I'll tell you where we ate. The first night we ate, okay, there's a shopping center on Abercorn. There's a Publix restaurant or a Publix grocery store in that shopping center on Abercorn. And there was a Carnitas Mexican restaurant. And so we ate there the first night, and I was like, holy crap, I got a shrimp taco, a um a chicken taco, and a pastor taco, which is marinated pork. 3 tacos, and I drank water. It was $12. Like, that's cheap for going out to dinner, especially in Savannah. All right. So the next night,
Yeah,
we went to Bonefish, and that I
yeah.
ordered shoot, bang bang shrimp. It was an appetizer, and then I ordered the macaroni and cheese, and it was okay. It was nothing to get excited about.
Right.
The last night was that Oak, I think it's Oak 36. All 3 restaurants were in the same shopping center because it was right across from our hotel, and because we got in from our training so late, we just went somewhere that was close. There's also a Five Guys in that shopping center, but we didn't go there.
Right. I know where it is. I know
Now,
exactly.
you know what I'm talking about? That Oak restaurant,
I
Oak
do. I
Okay.
know exactly where it is.
Well, that food was delicious. Now I got a fried chicken sandwich and it had, okay, so it was a fried chicken breast and the crispiness of it was just perfection. And it had honey and jalapeno and then slaw. Well, I took it off the bread. I'm not a big bread eater, so I took it off the bread and ate it like that. And then what was my side? I think it was French fries. But that chicken was so, so good. You know, I was more enamored with that smoked bourbon, and that's that place that did it.
Hmm.
Everybody at my table got some kind of like fancy little cocktail, and they were all like so beautifully presented. It was the priciest meal of the week, but it was delicious, and they say that it's like going downtown Savannah, but in Midtown. So you don't have to go downtown to get that vibe. Because it's a
Right,
real like
right.
kind of cool. I really liked the environment of that restaurant. It
Yeah.
was the
Stonefish. You talking about stonefish?
no, that oak, I think it's Oak 36. Let me see on
Oh, okay.
but it's in that
I'll
same
have to try.
shopping
I'll have to
center.
try that restaurant. So let me
Now,
ask you this question.
uh-huh.
Let me ask you this question. Did y'all, would somebody pay the whole bill or y'all had to pay individually?
We paid individually.
Right,
We get at our office, we get per diem.
right.
So it's like
I
in
was just curious.
quarters. I don't know what other people do, how that works. But
Right.
we get per diem. Now we could buy a pack of crackers and survive off crackers and probably make $1, or we can go out and eat at Oak 36 and spend our per diem for 3 days in one meal.
Well, that sounds like a good choice.
Well, that's why you have the $12 meal the first night. You know, you kind of just even it out.
Yeah,
Uh,
that's
but
right.
the it's probably not convenient unless you're on campus, but I was pretty impressed with the cafeteria food at Armstrong or Georgia Southern Armstrong. The second day we ate there, you know what was on my plate? Crab legs,
Oh, how
corn on the
about that?
cob. Yeah, it was good.
Yeah,
And then they have a salad
yeah.
bar with just anything you want to make a salad out of.
So, so was the food at Armstrong, was that reasonable?
I think it was like $11, which I thought that was reasonable because you
Oh,
got all you wanted
yeah,
to eat.
that's good. That's
You could
good.
you could sit
Yeah,
there and
I
eat all
didn't,
day.
is that cafeteria, yeah, is that cafeteria always open?
I assume, but I don't know. I mean, I'm sure it's always open when as long as classes are in session. But it looked like they
Right,
always have
I
like
would think
pizza.
so too.
It looked like they always have pizza and like spaghetti or some kind of lasagna pasta dish. They always have hamburgers. Um, they always have that salad bar. They always have cookies. And then there was the one line that changed every day, and that was the one that had the crab legs that day. But
Hmm.
it was delicious.
Well,
They
that's
had
interesting.
fruit. They
I
had a whole.
graduated from Armstrong.
Oh, okay. Well, I was telling my son because he complains about the cafeteria at his college. I was sending him pictures of it about how in telling him how good it was. But I hated that Georgia Southern took over Armstrong because when that happened, Armstrong lost their baseball team. So any kid who was there playing baseball, if Georgia Southern didn't want them, then they were out, you know. So that was unfortunate, but that happened before my son went to college.
Yeah, I would say.
So it hadn't been that many years ago, but Anyway, but I did see
There's
the
been a
baseball
few.
field. It looked like a really nice campus. I mean, even
Did?
the housing looked nice.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm. So
I hope so.
was it an expensive school? Was it
Well, that's
private?
good.
Was it a private school? Armstrong,
What's, I'm not sure.
when
I'm
you
not
went,
sure.
was
But
it
I am,
private?
I, I am interested. You cutting out kind of.
Sorry. What are you interested in?
No, I was interested in, did you find anything out on the vagus nerve?
I did, and I think I'm officially a doctor after it. So you can now call me doctor instead of Jennifer.
Good, good.
I'm
Broaden the horizon.
I'm always amazed at what we can learn about our bodies. I mean, it's just crazy. I'm just one of those special weirdos that likes to learn, even without a reason to learn. And I have stuff like this in my office because I just like to look at stuff like this. But I have this book in my office. It's called
Yeah,
Systems and Structures, and so the first thing I did was try to locate the vagus nerve on this. This is just crazy to me. This is our
right.
nervous system. That's just our nervous system. And you probably can't see it real clearly because there are such like minute details of all the nerves that are in our body. I mean, there are just this central figure key where it has the different regions like heart, neck, thorax, abdomen, pelvis, lower limbs. There are 111 listed. 111. And Vegas is number 16. So, like, wow, we got a heck of a nervous system, don't we? And so that's where I started, was to locate the vagal nerve in our bodies. And so basically it starts here at the base of our neck and it extends all the way down into our intestine, into our digestive tract. So it is
So
actually, go ahead.
what is that purpose?
Okay. The vagus nerve is actually the longest cranial nerve in the body. And so that, like I said, it extends from the brain stem to the neck, to the thorax, all the way down to our abdomen. So it's actually the longest cranial nerve in the body. Now, it's the main component of the parasympathetic nerve system. So, of course, I have to look up what in the crap that even means, because I know we have parasympathetic nerves, and that's main purpose is to conserve our energy and to regulate body functions. Now, there's also the sympathetic nervous system, and that is our fight or flight. And so, you know what that means. Like if you think you're in danger, it's your body's response, like adrenaline pumps up, you're ready to get the heck out of there, like you're in danger. That's your that's your sympathetic nervous system, that fight or flight. Parasympathetic and sympathetic nervous system is all part of our autonomic nervous system, and that is our involuntary body functions. And so I found this graphic and it split it up. So the parasympathetic, that's where that vagus nerve operates. That parasympathetic, and the vagus nerve itself is responsible for these body functions, and that is, it's responsible for slowing our heart rate. Well, just in general, heart, lungs, stomach, liver, intestines, bladder. So just that vagus nerve is responsible for those body functions.
Goodness.
So specifically, the vagus nerve is responsible for mood, immune response, digestion, heart rate, respiratory rate. So as I say these things, I really want you to think about that diaphragmatic breathing, that deep breathing, what we talked about a couple weeks ago, in inhaling through our nose, exhaling either through our mouth, through pursed lips, or through our nose, and how that calms our body down. So thinking about how breathing affects that, how breathing affects our body, how breathing can affect our nervous system. Think about how the vagus nerve is responsible for mood, immune response, digestion, heart rate, respiratory rate, slowing it down, right? Reflex actions, mucus and saliva production, which is the first step in digestion. When we chew food and it creates mucus and saliva, that starts that digestive process. Skin and muscle sensations, taste, speech, and urine output, like all of those bodily functions, the vagus nerve is responsible for. And so the vagus nerve is a key part from our brain to our gut. So that is digestion. Of course, we want that to function properly. And so I looked further into it with deep breathing and stimulating the vagus nerve, and I found that the FDA has approved that stimulating the vagus nerve through deep breathing, through massage, and through meditation. They have approved those things to stimulate the vagus nerve in treatment for depression. And that just blows my mind to think about the connection between digestion
me too.
and depression. Deep breathing and digestion. And stimulating that vagus nerve through deep breathing to make all of those bodily functions that I went through with heart rate, respiratory, mood, immune response, even urine output. When we stimulate the vagus nerve through deep breathing, massage, and meditation, then we increase the bodily function of those things specifically that the vagus nerve is responsible for. And that was just like, yeah, I'm definitely a doctor now. Like, I know stuff.
Well, at the end of the session, I've got an unrelated question for the vagus nerve and some other things, but just at the end of the session, I'll ask it so it won't interfere with your direction.
Well, no, I mean, feel free to go ahead and ask it if it's, about the vagus nerve. It's just not something I really understood. So, I mean, I feel like I'm just on the edge of understanding,
The cuss.
Yeah,
The cuss.
like I said, I mean, you look at this right here and how many nerves are involved in our whole body.
I see.
And how the vagus nerve is number 16. I mean, it's just like this tiny little thing that probably most people couldn't even read because it's so small, but that's how complicated our nervous system is. So knowing just this little bit of information about it made me think, well, my gosh, what's the superior cardiac nerve for?
That is great. That is great.
Well, I mean, you have this sciatic nerve. You hear about people having sciatic nerve problems and how pain will shoot through, you know, their leg. And, you know, it just makes me think about all of our nerves and how do we keep our nervous system healthy so that it functions as it's supposed to function. Now, I think our vagus nerve from, you know, our optic nerve, I think there are nerves that are probably more, I guess, I mean, I don't know how to say it without just saying more important because they're in charge of our body functions.
Mhm.
If
I
if
agree.
if we don't have, like, if we're having a problem with our parts of our vagus nerve, because obviously it's a bundle of nerves, it's not just one nerve, but it can lead to oh, I can't remember the exact word, but it's paralysis of your intestine.
What was
Um,
that? What was
the
that?
paralysis of your intestine.
What is that?
It's, well, it, from what I understand, if you have problems with your vagal nerve, then that's one of the things that can happen is and if your intestines are paralyzed, just think they go to sleep, so they quit working. And so
Right.
that's whenever you can get like stopped up, like severely constipated, um
Right.
and you may have to go into surgery to be cleaned out. Sometimes that happens when people get put to sleep, their intestines get put to sleep. So their intestines get that paralysis. I can't remember what the word is, but that's what it means, is that your intestines go to sleep and they quit working. How important is excrement in our digestive process?
Very.
Very important,
Yeah.
because that is how we rid our bodies of toxin. And so if we are stopped up, then toxins remain in our body and can reabsorb into our bodies and can cause us other problems. And so we want to have a healthy digestive process. So we want to start here, feeding our bodies the good stuff, particularly food that's high in fiber, uh, as close to the way it's grown as possible. What I mean by that is not processed foods. If you think about a grocery store, thinking about what's on the perimeter, because it has to be refrigerated or else it goes bad, versus what's in the interior of a grocery store, those are your processed foods. And so that doesn't mean there aren't any foods in the interior of a grocery store that are I think I said that aren't good for you. There are lots of foods in there. I mean, you think about dry beans specifically, or even canned beans. Sometimes we have to go with canned vegetables. Those are in the interior of our grocery store. You know, frozen vegetables. We have fresh, frozen, and canned vegetables. What are the best choices? Well, it just depends on you. Um, you know, you may need to go shop for a month at a time. You're not going to be able to buy fresh produce and it's not going to last for a month.
Yes. I've got a
So,
question. I have a question.
uh-huh.
So, can you give any guidance on being exposed to the toxic water, and how that might affect the vagus nerve, and
Oh
where I might
gosh.
find more information about that?
Specific exposed to toxins in water
Right.
and how it relates to the vagus nerve.
How it affects it in a negative way. Would you be able to guide me in any direction on that? That, I know that's out of the purview of what we're trying to do.
Oh, I mean, hey, we're all in the realm of learning, and sometimes way leads to way. So, we think about, why am I doing this?
Right.
So when we learn Tai Chi and think about it in terms of principles and what our motivations are to get the benefits of Tai Chi, and then we get our head wrapped around that, and then maybe we take it a step further and we're like, well, we want to learn more about deep breathing, and that's where we were 2 weeks ago, talking
Right.
more about deep breathing, which is associated to the our Tai Chi. And then, we dive even deeper to, okay, specific nerves and how it relates to different things. I mean, it's our body. And so there's not just one way to take care of our bodies. Tai Chi is not the answer to all the things. And so, I didn't even understand what the vagus nerve was, other than it was a nerve and part of our nervous system, and how deep breathing affected our nervous system just overall, not just a specific one. My
Absolutely.
goodness. I mean, who would have thought that the FDA approved deep breathing, meditation, and massage to stimulate the vagus nerve to treat depression? Have you heard that in the news before? I haven't.
I haven't either. I
mean,
haven't either.
I've, not went to the doctors with that specific issue, but I would venture to guess that a doctor wouldn't prescribe me deep breathing, massage, or
Right.
or
Well,
depression, even though it's FDA approved. I
well,
mean, that was just interesting to me. But in terms of what we consume and how it affects our vagus nerve, I'm just trying to think of this like in the most intelligent way. If our vagus nerve affects and controls digestion, then what we ingest for digestion has to affect our vagus nerve. Like, it has to work both ways. And so
yeah.
any type of toxin that we consume, would negatively affect our body and, affect the function. I think it probably boils down more to the digestive process, since that's what we're expecting of it once it goes into our bodies, and that any type of toxin that we ingest is filtered through our kidneys and our liver, specifically.
Yeah, that's great. So you totally understand that the deep breathing, the help with the vagus nerve, deep breathing is tremendous in lowering your blood pressure. You
and
understand that point.
And by deep breathing and stimulating our vagus nerve, then our bodies are more equipped to handle any toxins that we ingest. And I don't mean like, someone's poisoning us like at a great amount, but just if whatever water we drink, even if it's city water with the toxins they put in it in the name of cleaning water, or even in our well water, which doesn't have that same process, but toxins nonetheless. By stimulating our vagus nerve, it sets our bodies up to perform at peak. So I guess we can infer that deep breathing can help our bodies deal with toxins as it's digested. So that's just kind of mind-blowing to me. And that makes me in second year doctor now.
Thank you. Thank you. That's great. Thank you for doing that research.
Well, I just sort of inferred it because I'm kind of smart.
Well, you got a sense of humor there. A great sense of humor.
Like, if you could see the spine of this book, you would know how much I have just looked at this book and studied it throughout my years of having it, and I've had it probably 20 years.
Where do you get the book?
You know, I don't know where it came from. I've had it so long. I'm sure you could get it off the internet, but it says the world's best anatomical charts, systems, and structures. And the one that have probably studied the most is this one right here, and it's the muscular system. Whenever I had some knots in my back, it was in my lower back, I was studying this chart to see where my knots were and what all that muscle was connected to.
Oh,
And
yes.
how I could stretch these muscles to help keep those knots from happening. And so, I have consulted this book so many times just to study what's in me that I can't see. And so, if I'm
Great.
having problems with my shoulder, some of these will break it down even to body parts. See, there's a section that's the skeletal system, respiratory. So it has all your systems, but then it breaks it down to like the anatomy of the brain. There's the inner ear. It's just fascinating to me to look at these pictures and see ears, nose, and throat. I do the neti pot, and so I open this up to study what exactly was it cleaning out when I put that water through my nose and it came out the other side.
So let me ask you this question. What again is the name of the book, and do you see who printed it?
Uh-huh. It's called The World's, you probably can't see it because it's weird writing. The World's Best Anatomical Charts, Systems, and Structures. That's the name of it. And then, let's see, who puts this out? It says the Anatomical Chart Company. This was in 2000. Now they probably have one with the three genders. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, now that's a good one. That's a good one. Just a little humor for the day.
2000. So much has happened with the body since then. But that's who wrote this one. Hold on a second. I'm gonna go to my office. Let me get the other one that I'm always looking at too, because it's disease specific. This one is really good too, and I haven't used it as much, but again, the world's best anatomical charts, and this is called Diseases and Disorders.
Oh, boy.
And so the first says, it has it listed out, but alcohol, understanding allergies, Alzheimer's, joint inflammation. So that's interesting.
Listen at you.
See, knee injuries. So when you try to understand, what is going on in my body,
Yes.
I
Have you shared those with your children?
Well, when my son broke his collarbone, we came to these books and looked at them. But you look at this, diseases of the digestive system, we
Yeah,
were talking about the digestive system and how many things can happen
right.
inside of just our digestive system with ulcers, you've heard about, and
Boy,
hernias and
yeah,
polyps, colitis, all the things that can happen. You think about the polyps found inside when they do a colonoscopy. That's what
right.
they're looking for, like
Yeah.
pre-cancer type
This
stuff.
is excellent, Jennifer. Excellent.
So, but these books, I just feel like just have the best pictures of
Yeah,
laying it out and
I agree.
yeah, what's going on. Um, so maybe we can try to do something about it. Um,
Yes, that's right. That deep breathing for depression
mhm.
is just mind blowing.
It is to me too. I mean, I we take breathing for granted because it
Yes,
is
yes, we do.
it's something.
Here's my question. How do you make your family do the deep breathing exercises? That's my question.
Well, what I've learned in my years of working with people, not just my family, is that you can't make people do anything. They
I'm with you on that 100%.
they have to they have to
I'm totally
decide to
with
do
you.
it. They have to decide to do it. They have to be motivated to do it. When I think about when my kids were little, you know, you don't want to give them sugary stuff. You want them to drink water and milk. You don't want them to drink sweet tea and Kool-Aid and you water
Right,
down their juice. When they're little, you're in control of everything that they consume. And then as they get older, then they don't like broccoli. They don't like Brussels sprouts. They don't like,
right,
carrots. They kind of go away from it and start making horrible choices. Um, and then what's funny is my son is 19 and he said this summer I want to get really serious about my diet. He said, I've been focusing on protein. So I've been eating like chicken and steak or, something along those lines. He said, but
right.
I want to start eating vegetables. And I was like,
Amen.
really? Really?
Amen. Amen.
Because I remember a mama who tried to make y'all eat vegetables and as y'all got older, y'all were like, we don't like vegetables.
Yeah,
So it's
that's a
really
great story.
nice. It's really nice to see them return to wanting to, make better choices, but he's motivated because it's his health. And he's starting to realize, hey, if I make these choices, then it is going to positively affect my health. But see, I told him that years ago, but he
Right.
wasn't ready to hear it. And so you just have to tell them and show by example, and hopefully that they will, follow suit. But I mean,
Yeah.
I'm saying that like I eat healthy all the time. I don't.
No, I
So
know.
I'm excited for him to come home so that it will help promote it in me too. Because
Right.
there were many years when I would just cook what I knew they were going to eat, and healthy stuff aside, we were just trying to feed children. We
Right.
were just trying to get them food that they were not going to turn their nose up to and just eat cereal. So I'm excited to get to say, ooh, let's try these recipes that are high in protein and high in, the good minerals and vitamins. So because it's going to help me too.
Yes, that's right. So are you good about trying new recipes?
Within reason. Within reason.
Yes, that's right.
You know, I live in Baxley, so I'm a little limited on what's available to me. You know, like we don't have a really large grocery store. So you can't just try any type of recipe. You may not be able to find the ingredients. Also, you know, I'm not gonna eat like too weird of stuff.
No,
I'm
I'm
not
with you.
I'm not fixing to eat sardines, you know what I mean? You can you can tell me they're high in protein and I'd go, okay, well that's good. Like next.
Yeah, yeah, let me know again later.
But you know, I like I like vegetables. One of my favorite things to do, and it's just so freaking easy, is those bags of Brussels sprouts. They're like in a mesh bag.
Yeah,
You get those, of course, wash them, cut that little stem off, and then cut them in half. Put olive oil on them on a baking pan, a cooking sheet, a cookie sheet, whatever you call it, and
right,
put them in the oven until they get kind of blackened, I guess. I mean, cooked really good.
right,
And they're so good. The little bits that fall off the end, it's kind of like crunchy, not like chips, but you know, you can put
right.
garlic
I'm with
powder
you.
on there. But that is
Yeah,
something so easy to do, and you can heat it up later. You know, I tend to cook 2 bags at the time and just put them in the refrigerator. So I know that's something that's easy and healthy for me. That's a vegetable. Um, Convenience is always a great thing. You know, if I can cook extra and have leftovers and know that it's something healthy, because
that's
food,
good. That's
you
a
know,
good thing.
a lot of fresh produce just doesn't last. So you got to go ahead and get it cooked.
That's right. Thank you.
You're welcome. But I'm gonna probably get some boiled eggs in my refrigerator. I'm gonna get Patrick to try some different beans, like garbanzo beans and you know, outside of just black beans, because I think he's kind of stuck on black beans, like that's the only one. And I'd like for him to try other beans for the sake of protein outside of chicken and steak.
Right.
Number one, it's inexpensive. Beans are fairly inexpensive, um, but still a good source of protein. And so that's what he's wanting to do is grow muscle, and so um, and be
Well,
healthy.
okay.
So anyway, I'm up for hearing about any kind of recipe.
Do you?
I'll
Well, I'll send you one that's our favorite where
okay.
I can write it down. I think with Brussels sprouts and broccoli. That's
Oh
just
yeah.
delicious. So I'll send that to you to see if it doesn't resonate.
Is it warm or cold?
Cold.
Okay, because I've had that
It's like
broccoli.
a yeah, it's like a salad. A
So I've had
salad
that.
with a
Go ahead.
that no, I was just gonna say it's like a salad on the broccoli and the Brussels sprouts, and it is just delicious. The dressing that goes on
Oh yeah, I'm
in my
totally up
mind.
for that. Now, have you had this broccoli salad? It'll have like um red onion and sunflower seeds. I really like that.
Yes,
I like
yes,
that broccoli
yeah,
salad.
yeah. So is that a special dressing that goes on
I don't remember. It's been a while since I've made it. Now I've eaten it a lot
it?
more than
That's
I've made
okay.
it, but I'm sure there's a healthier way to make it. I just
Well,
can't remember.
good.
Um, you know, the Greek yogurt. is a good substitute, a healthier substitute for different things. Some people substitute it for sour cream. Some people, do they substitute it for mayonnaise?
Right, right. We have that.
Yeah. So I like something where I can put together. I don't mind to eat the same thing for several days in a row and just
No, I don't either.
call it eating. So anything like that. One of my kids' favorite things, and this is when kind of like healthier choices started happening, and I was so proud that they were actually making healthy choices. But I found it was like in a Women's Day magazine. So you get a rotisserie chicken and you pick that chicken apart and cut it all up, and then you just have all the chicken in one bowl. And then you cut up some tomatoes and have it in a little bowl, black beans in a little bowl, corn. I just took frozen corn and, rinsed it off until it wasn't frozen anymore.
Oh, yeah.
You can put cilantro, you can put just all different little toppings,
Right.
avocado, and then onion, whatever you want and whatever you like. And then they got to kind of build their own whatever and mix it together. And I don't even remember what it's called, but just putting out those little bowls of different things and having them add into their own.
Yes.
They
Great, a great idea. A great idea.
and it was just in a Women's Day or some kind of magazine like that.
Right. Well, thank you.
So that's something that's easy. You can get rotisserie chickens pretty inexpensive.
Yeah.
They're a little bit salty, but thinking about not adding salt anywhere else, and it kind of evens it out. Like maybe you would normally put salt on avocado, or you normally might put salt on tomato, but not putting salt in those places, mixing it with the rotisserie chicken, it adds the salt where you would have put it. So maybe it works itself out.
I'm with you.
But it saves you having to cook a chicken.
Yes, that's a big thing.
But now I've seen where people, put chicken breast in their crock pot. They'll put, several in one, and then they'll have chicken cooked, and, they'll eat the chicken from there. So putting them in the crock pot, that's not a big deal. Now, I really like when my husband pan fries them. Now that's really good.
What was that again?
He'll make basically chicken strips. He pan fries the chicken strips. He puts them in batter.
Oh,
and
okay.
Then fries them. It's not the worst thing you could eat, but it's probably not the healthiest either.
Yeah. Do y'all eat much fish?
I wish we eat more, but goodness gracious, it can be pricey. I really like salmon. I really like salmon.
Right. You get that at Sam's or Costco, those types of things.
Well, when we can, we like to go to the M&T meat market that's in oh shoot, what's that town called? It's on the other side. No, it's on the other side of Hawkinsville.
Oh, okay. I don't know where that is then.
Yeah, it's the whole other direction from you. But we have a meat market here in Baxley called Circle F.
Uh-huh.
And but it's just so expensive. That's salmon. Now you can buy it frozen at Walmart, but if you watch too much of the news, they try to tell you how much bad stuff is in the frozen fish.
Yeah, good point. Good point. That is a good point, Jennifer.
It's hard to know. Here you try to make healthy choices. You just I don't have it in here, but I ate an apple for breakfast. Okay, so I bought the apple. I did not pick it off my apple tree. I don't have an apple tree, but I bought the apple in the section at the Walmart. And so, of course, it's real shiny and you wash it and it kind of has this waxy kind of thing on it. And that's to make it look pretty, so you want to buy it. Well, what is that? That's a chemical that you eat. So all these vegetables that you buy in the fresh section of the grocery store, you think you're doing something healthy for yourself, and
Right.
only the people who put the poison on it knows what all's actually on there.
Yeah.
Unless we grow it ourselves, we think we're doing a good thing by buying these fresh produce.
Yeah.
We know it's better than potato chips. We know
That's
it's better
right.
than
When
Oreo
you
cookies.
compare it.
But is it just as bad, but just in a different way because of the chemicals that are on the produce that we go and buy?
I hope not.
So that's why it's good to support your local farmers market and your local
Yeah.
farmers, and so you have a product that has probably been on the plant or the vine longer, and God put these vegetables and fruits for us, and the longer it stays on the plant through photosynthesis, it increases the vitamins and minerals that naturally occur in these fruits and vegetables. But because they pick it in, South America and ship it to Baxley, Georgia, they pick it early and it ripens as it is shipped, and we're cheating ourselves of the vitamins and minerals because it's picked early in South America. So that's why we want to either grow it ourselves or support local farmers that grow it locally, and it stays on that plant longer.
Makes sense. It makes sense.
This time of year, we're really gearing up for that local produce.
You mean like Vidalia onions?
Yeah, Vidalia onion just hit the market, what, a week ago?
Right.
Round about maybe 2 weeks ago. But yeah, we'll start seeing that. Just like, watermelon, it'll start being in season in Florida. They'll ship them to Georgia. It'll start being a product of Georgia, but you're not going to get an in-season watermelon in December, So following what produce is in season can help you get the most best nutritious choices.
I'm with you, Jennifer. So white acre peas.
Uh-huh.
When do they come in season?
Well, from my experience, it's in June when the first crop starts coming in, but they'll be throughout the summer. I mean, if my experience is accurate anyway.
Okay. And of course, there's a farmer's market right there in Collins that's excellent. Riggers Farmer Market in Collins.
Yeah, and
he's got all that.
Yeah, and I think they have one of those you pick tomatoes as well.
Yes, that's true.
Yeah. So.
Yep.
But anyway, well, we have literally taught this whole hour, Mr. Ken. We didn't do a lick of Tai Chi. I hope you're not disappointed.
What this has been a revelation. This has been great.
Well, whoever rewatches the video is going to wonder where the heck is the Tai Chi.
Well, the great thing about it is you've been kind enough to give us all the Tai Chi books. We can go crazy working on them by ourselves.
Yeah, we have done a lot of Tai Chi. I'm really proud, and I have bragged on this session of Tai Chi virtual classes of how The interest is there to learn and how much we have learned in such a short period of time.
Well, you know,
So,
the other point, Jennifer, is I've got to tell you, this class has helped me so much with my balance. Thank you.
well,
Thank
you're
you.
welcome. I'm so glad. I'm so glad it's helped with your balance. That's why we're funded, to help with falls prevention. But hopefully you've gotten more benefits out of it as well.
Yeah, I think so. Big time, big time.
Well, next week is our 16th class, which means it's our final class. So we'll do a review of what we have learned, and then we'll put it away until August. If you want to rejoin the class in August, just let me know, and it'll be a new class in that we just kind of start all over and let the the participants kind of guide there.
Okay, question. On my calendar that you gave me, I've got 3 or 4 more sessions.
Well, this I have May the 7th is the 16th class.
Okay, I go 2 or 3 sessions after that with the schedule you sent me.
Well, yeah, I mean, I haven't counted out. I don't know what in the
You
world.
know, as a matter of fact, if you look at the email that we get into the Zoom meeting, it's right on that email.
I know why. I know why. Because whenever I schedule the class in Zoom, I go ahead there are 16 classes, but I schedule it out for I think 20 weeks. And the
Yeah,
reason why I do that is because just in case I have to cancel, because I don't ever plan on canceling. It's something that just happens. Like the time I canceled because Olivia's getting her license and we went to Patrick's game. And then, of course, my meeting in Savannah caused me to cancel. So some things I don't even know about when I make the class. So I go ahead and schedule it out for 20 classes. And
right,
then
right.
if we don't need those days, then class is over and no big deal. But in case we do need that many, then it's the same link. So
Okay, I got it.
I don't schedule it for only 16 weeks, because if we run out of weeks, then I'm going to have to make a whole new Zoom thing, and then that would be confusing. So
I'm with you on that.
that's where
I
that comes
understand.
from. That's where that comes from. I was like
Thank
trying to
you.
scratch my head, trying to think, what in the world have I done?
That's okay.
But that's
One
what
more
it
class
is.
is good. One more
Yes,
class
sir.
is good.
And then, but we'll talk about that next week on in terms of what's next and when it starts and what other possibilities are. Okay.
Thank you.
All
Thank
right.
you.
Email me if you think of anything else you want me to study. But now my rates are going up now because I'm a doctor.
Well, you just said it all. Don't forget that point now.
I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. But thank you, Mr. Ken. I appreciate you challenging me. I really do.
Well, bless your heart. You have a blessed day here. Thank you so much, Jennifer.
Okay, you too. Love you, Mr. Ken.
I love you too. Thank
All right.
you.
You're welcome. Bye bye.
Bye bye.